I got a message on one of my videos by Curly Heart saying, "Be careful, these have been found to have unsafe amounts of lead in them." Now this was on the video called Imperial Dinosaur Quartet. It was a funny video that I did. I think it was a short, and these were also some dinosaurs that I got from a haul, and I did a video on that too. But I want to thank Curly Heart for giving me that information, and I want to carry that information onto my viewers today. But also, I want to check to see if these do have lead in them. I did do a video on testing some other questionable toys made in China and Japan in the 1980s. That video, if you want to check it out, is called Testing 80s 17-in-1 and Japanese Voltron Combiner Robots for Lead. As far back as ancient Rome, lead paint was used abundantly. And more specifically, from the 1920s to the 70s, lead paint was known to be used in children's toys. The color yellow was thought to known to have the highest quantity of lead because of its derivative lead chromate. Lead paint was discontinued in 1978, years after lead paint was linked to toxicity. Most toys from the 80s and 90s are fine, but some still circulate today in the toy community. Throughout the years, toys with lead in North America were recalled, and today I'm going to test these Imperial dinosaurs for lead. So here's our 4 dinosaurs that we're going to do the lead test on. And you can see on this bottle here, you can see the orange kind of tan color means no lead detected. But as it gets darker into the maroon and almost like a dark red, you're going to notice that it says lead detected. On the directions it says wet swab tip with water. Shake off any excess liquid. After the swab tip achieves mustard yellow color, use the swab. Rub surface for 30 seconds and observe the swab for color change, referring to the bottle here. Red, violet, pink swab indicates presence of lead. Probably the darker it is, the more lead it contains. So we have these swabs here. They're kind of an orangish color. Mustard is more like this color here. And with the history that I was talking about earlier, I did mention yellow paint had higher quantities of lead, but also I read in a different document that the browns could have some lead. Those smaller dinosaurs, I don't know what happened to those. I think I may have sold a couple of them at a toy show, and I kind of wish I still had them actually. So I'm going to get 4 different swabs here. One for each dinosaur. And we will check the paint. This one here has some black on it and red on the eyes. This one here has red and brown, so there's our brown color. This one here has green, and this one here has a little darker green, like a pine green or something. So we'll try all those. I'm going to use a modern G.I. Joe figure here. We know that there's no lead on this. Let's see what happens. And you can see here that there's clearly no color change on that from what it was when I put it in the water. I'm going to test it just to see. I'm going to do it on the brown, see what happens. Just rub it for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It's pretty orange. It's not super orange. I mean, it's kind of like in here, but if you look at the original color on these things, it's not much different than what it is already, but it does have more of a red tinge to it, so we're probably looking at like right here. So I'm going to try a different one. Let's try this one here, see if this one works. And if you look at that, that is a lot redder than the other one. I didn't wait as long. It's about, maybe it's around the same. So we've got a little lead in that. Let's do the green, see what the green has in it. Yep, and we're getting the same result. Actually, this is a little more red. This is more like in here. So I think I can confirm that these have lead in them. Let's try the last one. This has a darker green. I'm not even going to do the eyes because it's obvious that these are contaminated with lead in the paint. I am going to try the plastic just to see what happens. Let's try this. Right away, that is turning red. So I have to conclude that these do have lead in them. All right, I washed my hands. I cleaned out the container. I have fresh water in it. Let's try this one more time. But I just want to test this out just on the brown plastic. Yeah, you can see that it's turning kind of a reddish pink, just like that. It's not as bad as the other ones, but it's still there. So these swabs I don't find work very well. And there is an expiry date on this. It expired in 2023 and it's 2025 right now. So, I mean, they did turn red, and I think it is conclusive that these do have lead in them, but I want to really have a confirmation on that. So I bought another lead test. These lead tests are not cheap. They're like 25 bucks. I can't remember what this one was, but this one here is $25 for only 4 tests. It does have a different way of testing. You have to submerge one of these in vinegar for 4 hours before you test the vinegar with whatever solution this is. So I'm going to submerge this in some white vinegar. I think I'm going to do this one here. This turned red really fast. So this has been sitting in vinegar for a long time now, more than 4 hours. But there's 2 tests. There's the rapid method test, then there's the leach method test, which is the one with the vinegar. We're going to do the quick test first and see what happens. And using the leach method didn't show anything. So in conclusion, these tests are not super accurate, and if you're going to get these done properly, you'd have to take it to a facility that does these kinds of tests professionally. But it's a good opportunity for somebody to try this on their own. And one thing that I learned from doing this is you need to clean the item that you're testing really well with soap and water and then dry it before you use either test. Otherwise, it will change the results of the test. And after I did that, I noticed that the tests were coming back with less lead. Now, there is lead in these dinosaurs. I don't have them here because I've cleaned my work area here really well, and I don't want those toys back on my work area where I'm going to be touching all the time. I've got them right over here on the shelf, but what I've noticed is that these dinosaurs do have a little bit of lead in them. My first tests with the orange swabs, they ended up showing a little bit more than the second test, the Abotex, I think it was called. And I think that the leach method, I just had too much vinegar and there was probably lead in that, but it wasn't showing any results. There was a little yellowing on the swab when I did the rub test, and it seemed to indicate that there's a little bit of lead on those toys. So I would be careful if you own these toys. Handle them and then put them on your shelf and then wash your hands really well and be aware that these toys do have lead. Now, on my shelves, if I have any toys with lead, I'm going to put a little sticker on it saying contains lead. That way, if I do handle them and I forget that they have lead in them, then I will go wash my hands and that will be fine. I'll probably put a little bit of a mat or something like that too, so when I put it on my shelf it doesn't put lead on the shelf. But I've been handling these toys for a while without knowing that, and I wanted to thank the commenter letting me know about this, and I hope that you learned something about these toys, and I hope that you guys, when you have toys like this, you handle them really well. So thanks for watching this episode of Toysbackzen. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode.